What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios, and today I'm here with another weekly real estate tip for you. And today we're here to talk about how less is more, which I know is the opposite of what we tend to think, and how to dominate with lead generation for the rest of your career. How to go out there and crush it with lead generation. Look, at the end of the day, lead generation, even though most real estate agents think that it's their number one biggest obstacle and biggest issue, it's the easiest damn thing on the planet if you know the 3 steps that I'm gonna break down for you today. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios, where every week I share new top real estate agent and entrepreneur interviews, along with tips that I'm personally doing inside my business that have allowed me to become one of the top real estate agents and team leaders on the planet. Check us out at gsdmode.com, where you can see more free great content, tips, interviews, resources, trainings, and more that will help you massively grow your real estate business. Also, make sure to check out my personal mentorship coaching program at 90daymastery.com. This is for those of you wanting to create a truly successful real estate business that pays you the money you want, as well as gives you the time and freedom to live a life worth living. This is hands down the best, most effective, and most affordable real estate coaching program that exists out there. Thank you so much for all of your support. Now, let's dive on into today's content. All right, so let's break down these 3 steps. We're gonna start with step number 1. So this is about dialing in. So before we start with our lead generation, let's make sure that you're dialed in with the number 1 lead source. Because for lead generation, and before I talked about less is more here, lead generation, I'm talking about new business, generating new leads, right? So we wanna make sure though that your number 1 lead source, which is your sphere of influence and past clients, is dialed in your business. So you wanna make sure to dial in your sphere of influence and past client process. So the reason why I have this written up the way that I do with SOI/past clients is I classify these in the same bucket, right? Past clients are a silo of my sphere of influence. So this is really just all about your sphere of influence. So I look at all of sphere of influence, and again, past clients is a silo of that, as anybody that, like, let's say I'm at the grocery store, walking through with my cart, and I see somebody that I know. We kind of give each other the head nod, wave, and smile, right? Like I know that I know them, they know that they know me. It's a warm face. It's somebody that they recognize. Now, we might not remember their names or even how we know them, but they know us, right? So it's a slightly deeper level of a connection, of a relationship. So make sure that you have this dialed in, right? And when I talk about dialing this in, of course, there's some important tools that you need for all of this stuff. I'm gonna make sure I've got a great CRM dialed in that can remind me to do all of this stuff each and every day. And then, of course, I'm gonna be tracking all of my data, right? So those are 2 just non-negotiable things that we need to have dialed in inside a real estate business. So the CRM that I use is Perfect Storm, so perfectstormnow.com. And on this, right, like when somebody becomes a past client, all I have to do is click a button and it puts them automatically on a 20-year follow-up program, or a reminder for me on a 20-year follow-up program. So I'll just walk you through my past client follow-up process. So we close on the transaction. Of course, I'm gonna be there at the closing table with the title company signing the docs. I'm gonna go deliver the keys. I'm gonna be there to celebrate the finish line. I see so many real estate agents that don't show up for signings. Yeah, right? And to me, this is just a massive mistake. I would rather be there for a signing with my clients and to celebrate the closing than I would a listing presentation. Yeah, right? This is the gold in your business. I want that repeat referral business, and I want to keep that ongoing. So I'm going to be there to celebrate, right? So make sure that you're there with that. Then from there, I have a day 7 follow-up. So I'm going to call them 7 days after close. Then I'm going to call them again on day 30, right? And the reason that I have these follow-ups on day 7 and day 30, let's just speak to home buyers as an example. Like if something's gonna go wrong with that damn house, it's gonna be in that first 30 days. You know, how many times, if you're watching this and you're a seasoned real estate agent, it's like how many times have you done the inspection, everything looks great with the property, new buyer moves in, and the AC unit goes out in the first 30 days, or just something like that, right? Usually if something's gonna happen, it's gonna be in that first 30 days. I want them to know that I'm not gonna abandon them. I'm not the real estate agent that's here to collect a commission check, then peace out, see you later. Look, I am here to be their realtor, their resource, and hopefully their friend for the rest of their life and the rest of my career, right? So I make sure that they know that, and I'm here to support them with that. So I make sure that I'm continuing that follow-up, and especially very frequently right after closing. Then from there, it's every 90 days, forever, right? So now mine goes out for 20 years. I figure if they don't redo another transaction with me in 20 years, I can drop them off at that point. But in my CRM, again, when I click this button, it just tasks me automatically, go in my task queue to call them day 7, day 30, day 90, shows what script to go out there and use. Now let me talk about scripts for a second here with past clients and sphere of influence. A lot of agents don't like to call their past clients, as an example, because they feel like they're always begging for business, right? We hear all these, gurus in real estate that are like, oh yeah, call your past clients and, use douchey, corny scripts like, oh hey, do you know if anybody's looking to buy or sell real estate, right? That's not something I've ever been comfortable with. That's not something most real estate agents are comfortable with. So they just don't do it, right? So I don't focus on that, right? My whole objective is just to keep the relationship alive. I want to deepen that connection and let them know that I'm here. So these are just connection calls. Look, they know I'm in real estate, right? I don't have to talk about real estate. I just pour to them. Hey, Josh Metzger, the dude behind the camera, right? Maybe I call up Josh Metzger. Maybe he bought a house from me 2 years ago. Call him, hey Josh, what's going on, man? How are you doing? How's the family doing? Hey man, last time I talked to you, he just got back from a family reunion, right? So maybe I get that intel somewhere. Or maybe our last conversation, I make a note of that in my CRM. Hey, last time I was talking to you, man, you were getting ready to fly out of town for that family reunion. How'd it go, man? How was it? I would know where he went. I would be able to start having a conversation about that and deepening that connection, right? So I'm just, hey, how's work going, man? Last time I talked to you, you got a new promotion at work. Tell me about it. Like, what's going good about it? What's some struggles with it? Just tell me about it, right? Think about this. When is the last time that somebody called you up that was just interested, like truly, genuinely interested in just you? Didn't want something, didn't hijack the conversation, didn't ask, oh, how are you doing? Oh shit, man, I just experienced that too. Then they make the conversation about them. It's very rare, right? Well, people don't like you because they think that you're cool, right? They don't like me because they think I'm cool. They like us because of how we make them feel. At your funeral, you're going to be remembered by others by how you made that person feel, right? So we want to make them feel special. They are special, right? We need to treat them that way. So be truly, genuinely interested. Then the law of reciprocity, they're going to ask about me. Well, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Family's great. Kids are in school and, their school's going good. Michaela's at dance. Landon's playing the saxophone, just started the saxophone at band, and then work's busy, crazy, real estate market's, crazy as hell. And then here's how I end every conversation with a connection conversation. I just let them know, hey, I just want to take a moment to thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you for all of your support, your business, everything that you do for me. As you're aware, how I provide opportunities for my family is from closing more real estate deals. And I couldn't provide the opportunities that I do for my family if it wasn't for my amazing clients like you with the business that you do with me, but then also in addition to that, all the friends, family members, coworkers, everybody you send my way. So again, I couldn't create these opportunities for my family if it wasn't for you. So again, I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. If there's ever anything I can do to pay you back, to support you back, to help you, look, I am here. I don't care what it is. I'm here to be your realtor, your resource, and your friend for the rest of your life. So whatever it is that you need, let me know. And that's how I go with every conversation. Then in addition to this, I send out a Monday motivation message. So this is just a mass email, so it just takes about 2 minutes for me to blast that out. I do monthly video market updates that I mass email out to all my sphere of influence, everybody in my database. And then I do holiday emails. Then from there, as soon as anybody becomes a client, I friend request them on social media. And myself and my team, everybody on my team, we're really strict about doing 4 social posts a day, right? And those daily social posts, we try to keep it 25% business, 75% not business, about life, motivation, things that are fun, right? So they're seeing that we're constantly in real estate. Because remember, the game of real estate, I've talked about this in other real estate tip videos. I think actually the last real estate tip video that I did for you guys, if you haven't checked that out, I'll have a link below for that. But I talked about what is the real estate game. Like, what is the game? What's the directions of the game? What do we need to be focused on day in and day out in our real estate business? And I talked about the game being getting people to know you, like you, trust you, be aware of what you do for a living. Fall frequently, your business continues to grow. This then makes all that a reality. Doesn't cost me any money to do any of this stuff. And it's very quick and easy to do. And my CRM just reminds me. So I'm able to pop in there. So that's step number one, to dial that in. All right, now step number two. This is now we're going to go to we're transitioning on to new business. So the first step, before you even identify your lead generation sources, is identify like who is your ideal client? Who do you want to work with? Who do you connect with the best? Who do you enjoy working with the best? Who do you connect with the best? Who sends you the most repeat referral business? Start breaking that down and thinking about that. Maybe you're brand new to real estate. You haven't closed a transaction yet, which is a question I get a lot when I talk about this, where people are like, dude, I haven't closed any deals yet. How would I know who my ideal client is? I haven't had any past client repeat referral business, right? Well, think about like who's in your inner circle, right? Like whatever your previous career, your circle of friends, right? Like who are those people and what are the commonalities? So for my ideal client, it's 28 to 42-year-old. So this is their age. They're married couples with kids at home, young kids. They're buying in the suburbs. So they're buying single-family detached properties in the suburbs, $250,000 to $400,000 price point. And they're move-up buyers, right? So I'm not specializing in first-time buyers. So it doesn't mean, though, that I'm not, like I'm going to turn down a first-time buyer, right? But this is my niche, right? The riches are in the niches, man. The more laser focus that you can get on this, the better. Because now I'm able to identify, okay, what cities, what zip codes are these people moving to, right? What subdivisions are they moving to, and so forth. And I can identify then quickly, like what is most important to them. Also, like where do they do business at, right? Are these people that like these people are busy, right? It's going to be hard to get them on the phone. If you're cold calling, it's going to be hard to get them to answer their door because they're at their kids' practices in the evening, right? But also, I love the fact that they're move-up buyers, right? These are people that already own a home. So they're in their 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot home. That was their first home. They bought it 7 years ago, let's just say. Now they're married, they have kids, they're bursting out of the seams. Now they want the 2,500 square foot plus, 4-bedroom plus home with a pool, right? It's very quickly for me to identify what their pain is in the current living situation and what they want. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm showing up to where their eyeballs are, right? So get very clear on your ideal client and then identify, like, how are these people doing business? That then takes you over to identifying your 2 to 3 lead generation methods. And this comes into the whole less is more, right? Like, I don't want to do more. I don't want to, I hear some agents that are out there doing 10 different lead generation sources, or I've talked to an agent not too long ago that had like 30 some different lead generation sources. I'm like, damn, dude, like that you become a jack of all trades and master of none. That's not what I want to do. I want to identify personally 2, right? I say 2 to 3, 3 being max, but I identify 2 because you got to remember, I've got to do my sphere of influence past client, my number 1 lead source. This is in addition to this. We're talking about new business now, right? So I got to make sure that all this is happening. I got to make sure I'm servicing my clients at the best possible. I'm working on my business. I'm tracking my numbers, right? Like this allows me to go deeper and be more effective at less things. So when I say less is more, I'm just talking about less sources so I can do more of the sources that I choose, do more of it, and be much more effective with it. So I do 2 things for new business: Facebook ads and open houses, right? And I just make sure that we are laser focused on being the best person in this space at these 2 things. Like, let's just take open houses, for example. And when I say we just do 2 things, you guys, we're talking about over 600 yearly closings year over year that these 2 new sources, and that's a combination of my past clients' sphere of influence, which a lot of our business comes from that, from being in the business now for over 14 years. But this is all that we do for new business. This is it. Just focus on these 2 things to the extreme, right? But when we look at open houses, right, I'm going to identify my house being, okay, hey, like I know my area because where my ideal client is moving to or lives. Like we know we're very strict on what we're doing the open houses and the price point of the open house, as well as the type of house that it is. Like it's got to be in high demand, right? Then from there, like we spend a week planning each open house, right? So I'm going to make sure and be very methodical and strategic about getting the right house in the right location. Then from there, I'm gonna go out there and set up 50, 60 signs, right? I'm gonna have flags and banners. I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna demand attention. I'm gonna make this thing look like a friggin' circus, right? Then we have a very intentional sign-in process that we walk them through where we get over 80% of all open house leads to sign in with never even having to ask for the contact information, right? Well, then we have a very intentional tour process. Here's the exact questions to answer. Here's the goal of the tour process. Here's at the end of the tour, how to lead into setting the appointment, right? And then at the end of the open house, we have a very strategic and intentional follow-up process. As soon as the open house is done, I'm creating a personalized text video that I'm sending out to before you even leave the open house, that's going out to everybody that was at the open house that signed in. Then I take down my open house, I'll go right back to my office, I input everybody into my CRM, right? They go into a 1,000-day long email text follow-up drip automatically. Then they go into a 1-year long phone call follow-up campaign, and we make sure that we nail the follow-up, right? So like, dude, like for me to do one effective open house the right way, I'm gonna have at least 10 to 20 hours into that open house between identifying the property, the setup, the advertising that we do to drive the 50, 60, 70 people that we get at each open house, then to the follow-up. So think of the difference of that compared to the average agent's open house. So an agent say open houses don't work. Now they work, they're just shitty at working effective open houses. So we do the same things here, right? So this is why, again, less is more, because it allows me to do more of the thing that I'm doing and do it much more effectively. Then I gotta be consistent. Consistency is the only magic pill that exists, right? So like I know that Facebook ads and open houses work. So if I'm not getting the results that I want, I need to go back to the drawing board on my strategy. I'm not going to just abandon it. Don't be one of these agents that just skips around all the time. Oh, I didn't have success with that, so I'm going to bail. No, right? Like, dude, like if it's a proven source that other people are kicking ass with it, it just means you suck at it, right? Like get better at it. Go chips all in to improve and get better at it, then be consistent with it and don't stop at that thing. Like I'm gonna do an open house every single Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. My Facebook ads are happening 24/7 each and every day, right? But I can scale those up to get the exact number of leads that I need, and I'm continuing my follow-up game each and every day. So this is how, by having less is more, and dialing in the right process, system, and strategy that you can dominate with lead generation in your business. And the last thing I want to end with is when you're identifying these lead sources here, you guys go out there and my marker's not working. Go out there and find somebody that's kicking ass at these sources, right? There's no reason to try to reinvent the wheel and figure this stuff out and go out there and test all this stuff on your own. Just go out there and identify like who's a player in the real estate game and go out there and follow exactly what they're doing and go out there and get those same results, right? Like it's how I do everything. I don't try to be a creative and come up with these new strategies. I'm just a good pirate. It's R&D, rip off and duplicate, right? I go find somebody that's kicking ass with what I want to learn, what I want to implement, that's crushing it in this industry, and I go identify what they're doing and just go out there and implement, execute on exactly what they're doing, and the results will follow, right? So anyway, I hope you guys found all of this helpful and useful. Promise you if you apply this, it'll be a game changer for you. So just a couple last quick things. I recently created a new email, questions@gsdmode.com. So if you have a question, an obstacle, frustration that you would like me to break down for one of these weekly real estate tip videos, I'd love to get your feedback. One of the hard things for me is always coming up with new content to go out there and rap on these. So I'd love to give you what you want, right? And help you guys with your problems. So if you have any obstacles, problems, frustrations, anything that you want me to showcase on one of these weekly real estate tips, shoot me an email, questions@gsdmode.com. Second thing is make sure to check us out at gsdmode.com, where you can check out more tips just like this, my leveling up episodes, where it's more about a mindset and peak performance, plus all our podcast interviews with top real estate professionals. There's a lot of free resources on there, so check us out at gsdmode.com. Truly appreciate all of your support. Keep kicking ass, keep up the amazing work, and I'll see you soon. Peace.